Hey guys and girls, how's it going, and welcome back to another Minecraft Let's Play, where we take one mod and we put it through the test of time. And this mod is going to be Botania, probably one of my most favourite mods. I've been really looking forward to doing a Let's Play just on this mod, where we can get all the bits together, we can kind of experience the end game, and we can put it into a real world situation, you know, much like we did with Farmcraft, where we had all the bits and we used all of them. And it's very much different from a mod spotlight in which we actually get to see how useful the stuff is. You know, seeing it in action is cool in a spotlight, but actually putting it into use, now that's when you find out if a mod's actually good or not. So I have been given this lovely little treehouse where we will be spending our time during this little mini-series, and the one cool thing about this is it has a pool, and this pool not only has water in it, but it also has a little area we can go down, and we can fall down to the bottom, and we can drop into this awesome little place down here. Yes, check this out. Isn't this looking pretty funky? I do like it, I must admit. I got some bread inside, we've got some cobblestone, some wood, some minor tools and such. I think I'm going to go and grab those now. And then we're going to go and grab some flowers, because Botania is all about flora. Magical flora, to be exact. And with this, we can do some pretty cool stuff. But before we can go and do any cool stuff, we do need to go and we need to grab ourselves some flowers. Now, there are a bunch of different types of coloured flowers, and each different flower you'll be able to find in little bunches. I believe the way they spawn in now is they spawn in little sections. Yes, we can see that the orange are next to the orange, and the blue are next to the blue, and the purple are next to the purple. We should find a red one around here. There we go. Brilliant. So when you start, you're going to want to grab as many of these magically flowers as you possibly can. What's that? That's an observer. Oh, it's a Minecraft one. Oh, we don't want one of those. We want the sparkly flowers. Oh, jeez. Okie dokie. So I'm going to go around, I'm going to grab a load of these. In total, I believe there's 16 different types of flowers that you can grab, and you're going to kind of want to go around and grab as many as you can. Most importantly, though, we're going to want to grab the white ones to start with, because those are going to be the main ones that we're going to be using. But I'm going to go around, I'm going to collect this area, I'm going to forage and get many flowers, and I'll meet you back at the base. Alright, I think I got a pretty decent amount of flowers. I didn't manage to find many yellows, which is a tad annoying, but that's fine, because we can play with the other flowers before we need the yellowy ones. Now, the main one that we want to get, like I said earlier, is the white ones, because the white ones are going to be used for us to make our particular type of material that we need. Now, if we have a little looky-see inside here, we're going to want to craft ourselves a Petal Apothecary, and this is going to be kind of the first thing that we need, which is made just like this. You can see we need different types of petals and such. Actually, before we make this, we're going to want to make something else. So the first thing that we should be thinking about making is our Lexical Battaglia. And that's exactly what I want. Cool. So we're going to need a Lexical Battaglia, and we're also going to need... shall I break one of these? I think we're going to have to break one of these. Thank you very much. We're also going to need a book, and when we put this together we get the Lexical Battaglia, just like that. Now the Lexical Battaglia is very cool, because this will give us all the information that we need to know about the mod. So if we open it up, you can see all these cool little sections, and we'll see that we have basics and mechanics, mana manipulation, generating flora and such. The first thing you're really going to want to probably read is the basics and mechanics, because that's going to run you through most of the stuff you need to know to get yourself going, but we're going to be doing that now anyway. But we will be using the Lexical Battaglia later on. So now that we've got this, and we've got our flowers, we're going to want to turn some of these into petals. Now all you do is basically pop them in there, and bam, you grab yourself some petals of that type. You'll always get 2 for each individual different type of flower, and obviously it's going to be the same colour as the ones that we had, but that's how we're going to do that. Now for the Petal Apothecary, I'm going to use one of something that I've got a load of, so we're just going to go with orange, and I'm going to want some cobblestone, and we're going to turn some of that into this. There we go. And bam, there we go. Cool, cool. I'm going to change this for an orange one though, because I want to keep hold of my white ones. And now we'll give us our Petal Apothecary. Then let's go and pop this out here, shall we? Let's put it, I don't know, let's put it here. There we go. Cool, cool. That looks pretty nice, doesn't it? I like it. Now we're also going to need to get ourselves some water. So let me go see if I can find some iron, because we need a little bit of iron to do this. Now I'm using the same type of world generation as we did in Farmcraft, so ores galore everybody, which is great. If you're wondering why, or you're new to this, you didn't watch the Farmcraft one, the reason I do this because I don't want to be spending half my time underground mining. It's boring. So yeah, I changed the world round so that we have enhanced ore spawns on all levels, so that way I can get more into the mod faster than if we had to spend the first few episodes mining for ages, which I'd rather not do. So cool. Alright, we'll grab some of that. Let's go back. We're going to need this bucket because we're going to need to get ourselves some water so that we can fill our Petal Apothecary with all of that good stuff. And then we're going to make our type of materials. Now, really, the only thing you're going to find in the world to do with Botania is the flowers. Everything else is kind of made separately, which is what's quite cool about it. So let's get this baking up. Oh, I got some cooked fish. I love cooked fish. I have to replace this. I'm going to have to replace that. Like, I cannot leave that like that. That's going to literally drive me around the bend. Oh, man, I should have remembered about the book. Oh, jeez. Wow, there you go. That's what you get, isn't it? That's what you get. So, let's get our bucket up and running. And we'll do this. Now, the first type of flower we're going to make is going to be called a pure daisy. And in Botania, really, you're going to be making flowers. You've got different types of flowers, from generating flowers to functional flowers, and they all have their own individual uses. So let's go and grab some water from hereby river, Venice, and we're going to click on our Petal Apothecary, and bam, it's going to fill it with some liquids for us, which is very cool. Now, let's have a look in here. Now, two good things, actually. So, your Lexical Battaglia will give you all of the recipes that you need to know. So, I'm going to show you in here first, and then I'll show you the easier way of doing it. But it's always good to read in here, because this will tell you the information that you need to know. So, the first thing is the pure daisy. And this says in here, the pure daisy is not only the most basic, but also the most important flower a botanist can have. This flower will purify any adjacent wood and stone blocks, as seen on the next page, into their purified counterparts, living wood and living rock, which can be used for crafting. There we go, just shows it right there. And you can see that this goes a little bit more into it like that. Now, for recipes, I believe it's been added now that you can actually search them in NEI. So the last time I used this, that functionality wasn't there, but I think we can do that now. So let's have a look. So we want to grab ourselves a pure daisy. Yeah, there we go, look. So it shows us that we have to put white mystical flowers, or 4 of the white mystical flowers, inside the Petal Apothecary, and that's going to give us a pure daisy. Now, we are also going to need one extra thing. For any of the flowers that we make in the Petal Apothecary, we're going to need to grab ourselves a seed, because that is what's going to basically kind of be our catalyst for it. That's what's going to do the trick. And every time that we do this, we're going to need to refill our Petal Apothecary. So it's probably going to be worth to set up a little area just around here where we can have a infinite water source. So I'm going to dig this out. There we go. And let's go and grab a couple of buckets of water so we can fill this up. And that way we don't have to keep running over that way, which is, you know, always quite nice. We'll pop one there. And let's get our second one. Cool. And we'll pop this on the side. So the pure daisy, like it says in the book, is going to go ahead and it's going to change stone and wood into its living counterpart, which is pretty cool. So let me show you how we do this. So for each one, we need 4 of the mystical white petals. And we just throw these in. Now, there's a couple of ways you can throw them in. You can just either push Q to throw it in like that, or you can just do that and throw the lot in. That's how I prefer doing it. And then we want our seeds, and bam, 1 pure daisy, just like that. Very nice. And you see that's gone ahead and that's gone and emptied our Petal Apothecary. So we're going to need to fill that back up. But good for us, we've got our infinite water source, so I can just go ahead and do that, which is very nice. Now, how we use this is very cool. So we plop this down like such, and any type of log or stone that we put around it, after a small amount of time, will get changed into its living counterpart. So I'm going to go ahead and, you know what, I'm actually going to make 2 of these, because I think if we have 2, it's going to be a lot easier. Now, it doesn't matter how many of the wood or how many of the stone you have around it. You can have as many or a mixture as you like, but I prefer having 2, because that way we can have 1 just for stone and 1 just for the logs. So let's get another one of these. There we go. And we'll pop you in there. And then that. Grab me another one of those. Let's get my bucket. There we go. Fill you back up. Good stuff. So now we've got another pure daisy. And let's put this one here, like that. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is our oak. So let's put this around here. There we go. And you know it's working because you get all these kind of white particles coming off of the logs. Like I say, you can use pretty much any log you like. It doesn't have to be oak, but that will do that. Now let's also get some stone. There we go. And we're going to cook up some stone. Let's get a place for our flowers. Let's put these inside here. And we'll put all our flowers in there. There we go. Much better. I'll get some chests outside later on. But as that does that. So let's go have a look over here and see if we can see it changing. It doesn't take that long, but it is pretty cool when it changes. It has a kind of little effect and it kind of goes all the way around. It's quite nice. But it does take a minute or two for it to do his thing. Now you're going to get very used to doing this because you need living wood and you need living stone for practically most of the recipes in Botania. As I said, the only thing that you're actually going to find in your world that is solely Botania when you start is pretty much going to be flowers. So everything else that you're going to make, and believe me, Botania has a lot of items. To get the items for those, you're going to craft them with things like the living wood and the living stone. Then you're going to go crafting with those guys and so forth from there. So that's kind of the way it works. But there we go. Look. Hey, you just saw that do his thing. Oh, go away. Go away. No. No, not today. Wow, I cannot wait until we get into our flower making, because then we can send all these guys packing. Cool, cool. So there's that one. Let's go and get my stone as well. I'm going to place some stone around my other one. Let's go and get some of these. Here we go. I need one more bit. So you need to make sure it's stone, though. Don't use cobblestone, because that won't do nothing. And with this, we'll turn this into living stone. So we'll do exactly the same as we did around this, but we'll do it around this side. So there we go. Cool, cool. And I'm going to take you. Good stuff. And do I have any more? Because I'd like to set down a second lot. Because like I say, you do need a lot of this stuff. So it's worth keeping up. If you can set it up automatically, now that will save you a lot of time, so we'll look into that eventually. But there is ways to do all this automatically with just Botania and good old vanilla. So we'll be doing that. I want to try and stay away from any additional mods while doing this playthrough, purely because I would like to see what Botania can do by itself without the additional use of other mods. And you know, sometimes when you add other mods, it just kind of takes the fun out of it. Botania is quite, it's aimed very much around being a GUI-less kind of, you've got to do a little bit of manual labor, but what you get back in return is really good. It's not one of those ones where you place a block down and it gives you 5 million diamonds. It's not one of those type of mods. But if you have other mods with it, you can change it into that, and that's kind of what takes the fun out of it, I guess. So let's wait for these ones to do their changing. Shouldn't take much longer now. There we go. Brilliant. And that's going to give us our living stone, or living rock. And with this, we can make a couple more things. I think we're going to make one more thing before we finish up today's episode, because we've got pretty much most of the basics done. One thing that we are going to want to make, though, is we're going to want to craft ourselves some living wood twigs. And we're going to need 3 of these, because we're going to make ourselves our wand. Now, much like most mods have a wrench, so technical mods don't have their wrench, Farmcraft has its... Oh, look at they just turned. Farmcraft has its little wands, its rods, and with this we will have a wand of its own as well. So we're going to use... Let's go with, because the petals that we choose for this are actually very important, because they will stay with us for the rest of our lives. Well, unless we change our wand, I guess, but I don't plan on doing that. So I'm thinking of going with... I actually really like white, because white's a very clean colour, and I'm one of those type of people. Should I go with white? Yeah, let's just go with what. Do I want to switch it? Nah. If I have 2 colours, it's going to bug me. So we'll put 3 twigs and some of this, and bam, we have a Wand of the Forest. Very nice. And our Wand of the Forest will allow us to go around and check all of our magical gubbins. So I've gone and done a little bit of mining, and I've got myself a bit of gold and a little bit of redstone. I've also been cooking up some more stone so that we can make some more of this lovely living wood and living rock, which I've been gathering here, which is pretty cool. So like I say, we're going to get a little backlog of this so we can So we've got it there in case we need it. But before we finish up today's episode, we're going to go ahead and we're going to craft ourselves something very, very useful. And this is going to be our first type of generating flora. Now it's going to be... Oh, there goes our living rock. Very nice. It's going to be one of the most basic types, and pretty much one you're not going to want to stick with, but it's going to do the trick for the time being. We're going to make ourselves a daybloom. And dayblooms are your most basic type of generating flora with nightshades. So to be able to do this, we're going to need some yellow, some orange, and some light blue to be able to do this. So let's get some yellow. There we go. So we need 2 of those. And I think I'm going to make 2 of these. So we'll grab 4 of those. We're going to need some orange. We're going to need a couple more orange. Let's get those. And we're also going to need some light blue. Cool, cool. There we go. Let's just double check to make sure we got that right. Yeah, we got that right. Good stuff. Now, we're also going to need some seeds, because this is exactly the same as when we made the daisies. So we're going to need some seeds. So let's go and grab a couple of those. And like I say, you're not really going to want to stick with these for a vast amount of time, because what we're going to be producing is mana. So we're going to get mana from our generating flora, and that's basically going to be kind of our power type. And these guys do not make much mana. Not much at all. But for what we need at the minute, they're going to, they'll do the trick. So we'll have one of those. There we go. And bam. 1 daybloom. Good stuff. Let's grab another one. So I need another 2 of you. 1 of you. 1 of you. And 1 of you. Good stuff. Alright. So we've got our 2 dayblooms. Let's go and pop those down over here somewhere. Let's pop them here. There we go. Good stuff. You'll see they got this kind of thing going on like this. Now, at the minute, you might be thinking this is kind of all set up right, but it's actually not. So, if you ever see these kind of lines going through them, it means you've spaced them too close together. Things like dayblooms and nightshades need to have a little bit of area between them. Placing them like this is just fine, but having any of them on kind of the 4 facing points is going to mean that you're not going to make as much mana, so we're not going to make as much power. Now, at the minute, you might be thinking, well, I can't see how much power is inside these, and this is why we have our Wand of the Forest, because this allows us to see. So you can see when we're hovering over this, it now says Daybloom and Unknown Status. If we were to right-click on it, it's going to show how much mana is inside that, so you can see the Daybloom is currently 3/4 full. If we have a look now, we're almost full, and now we're full. Good job. Good job, Mr. Cow. Good job. Pretty sure animals in Minecraft are coded to come and get right in your way. There we go. And this one should be all the way up as well. Yeah, good stuff. And you see if I break it and I pop it back down, it's going to be back to the bottom again. And it's slowly going to fill up. Now, dayblooms work just as you'd expect. They make power during the day. So during the night, they're going to stop. They won't make anything at all. That's where you make nightshades. So nightshades do the exact opposite. So they don't make mana during the day, but they will make mana during the night. And they're just as cheap. They just need some mystical black, some purple, and some mystical grey. And they'll give you the nightshades. So to be able to harness this power, actually be able to put it somewhere that we can use it. Because at the minute, it's not doing anything. It's just sat in these dayblooms, kind of being wasted. So if we want to use this, we need to extract it. And to extract it, we need to use ourselves one of these guys. So if we go into our Botania section here, you're going to see that we have mana spreaders. Now, there's different types of mana spreaders, but the most basic are these ones, and this is why I have my gold, and why we've gone and get ourselves some living wood. So if we place our living wood like this, and we put a petal down, oh, we're going to need our gold first, aren't we? Here we go. Let's grab you. Good stuff. So we'll do that, and we'll have our redstone, and any type of petal will do the trick. And this will... Oh, we need gold, don't we? That's the one. And now will give us a mana spreader. So that is that. And like I say, you can use any petal, really doesn't make a difference. I prefer to use the ones I have lots of flowers of, because that way, if you need to use one of those types, it's not the end of the world. So let's place this around here somewhere. We're just going to pop it here for the time being. It doesn't need to be this close. You can have it kind of... it doesn't need to be this close at all. But you can tell if the flowers are linked to it, because when you hold over the flower like this, you'll see that there's like a little wire frame going around our mana spreader. Well, that means that that flower is now linked to that mana spreader. So if we were to go ahead and take away the flower and move the flower like over this way somewhere, you can see that it's now still linked to it. It's pretty long distance. So like I say, it does not need to be that close to it, but you know, for demonstration purposes, we'll pop it there for the time being. You may have also noticed as well, these day blooms no longer have any mana in them, no power in them. That's because the power is now inside our mana spreader. You can see it's got a little bar there that's very slowly going up. The mana spreader holds a lot more mana than these little day blooms do. But that's going to go up like that. There we go. And now we're going to want the mana spreader to send the mana into something that we call a mana pool. And we do this by using our living rock. So by doing this, we get a diluted mana pool. The diluted mana pool is basically a mana battery, but it's a very, very tiny mana battery. And we're going to want to upgrade this as soon as possible. But for now, this will do the trick. So if we place this inside the line of sight of this mana spread, and you know where the line of sight is because you get this kind of green particle effect flying out in front of it. You can see it going along there like that. There we go. That's the line of sight of where it's going to be sending the mana. Now, it's only going to send the mana if it has somewhere to send it to. So, at the minute, it's not sending it because it hasn't got anywhere to send it. If we was to place down this here, it now has somewhere to send the mana to. And you'll see the mana bursts coming out of it. There we go. So, it's now just transferred the mana it had inside there into our diluted mana pool. Like such, you can see the little bar inside there now has gone down a little bit, and you can see that it says diluted mana pool underneath it because that's kind of what it's connected to, like such. And the diluted mana pool holds a massive amount of mana compared to the mana spreader, but the diluted mana pool is actually quite small as far as mana capacity goes. The main one that we're going to want is the actual mana pool, which is made with a diluted mana pool. So we would do that to make one of those. I don't know if we currently have enough mana in there, but you kind of want to upgrade to the larger mana pools as soon as possible, because the little ones, they don't hold much mana and you can't actually really do anything with them. You know, to be able to do any type of crafting that involves mana, we need to get ourselves the regular mana pool. The diluted mana pool is pretty much just a starting point. And for those that don't want a massive supply of mana, just a small little amount, you know, you can use one of those if you want to do it. So I completely forgot what I was doing then. I was making another mana pool. Let's see if we have enough in there. I don't think we do, but we'll give it a try. So how we do any type of crafting with this is, no, we currently don't. There we go. So if we have enough mana in there, you'll see that that little cross won't be there. We'll have a tick saying that we have exactly enough mana in there to be able to do that, but we don't at the minute. So once we get more mana in there, which will be generated from our day blooms going into our mana spreader and into here, we're actually getting a little bit close to having another mana burst very soon. So maybe when that reaches its point and bursts, we'll have enough mana inside our diluted mana pool to be able to make a regular mana pool. But I do like how it now shows whether you can actually craft it or not. Before, when I played with this, we didn't have any of that, so you kind of just had to guess. You just had to kind of give it a good go. But now you'll know if it's going to work. If we could do it, all we would do is we would just throw the item. Oh, there we go. Look, we got a little tick now. So that means we can do it. So to do any crafting like this, we basically just throw the item on top. There we go. And that gives us a regular mana pool. So I'm going to get rid of this, because I don't need that, and I'm going to put down my mana pool. There we go. Now this can hold a massive amount of mana. So as you make mana, it might not look like you're making much, and the chances are you're not making much, because if you're using things like day blooms and nightshades, you're going to be making such a small amount of mana that it really isn't worth it. But to get yourself going, you know, they're not bad. They're not bad. They're cheap, and they're fairly good. If we wanted to make something that's actually going to pump a little bit of mana out a little bit better, well, we're going to need something good for that. So let's have a look. So inside our Lexical Battaglia, we're going to have a look at generating flora. And there is a lot of different types of generating flora, and all these different types of generating flora will make mana in a different way. So from ones that will eat cakes, ones that will eat trees. And we got the day bloom, and we've got the nightshade, but we're going to want something like the Endo Flame, which is a very good one indeed. And this needs a couple of things. So we need some brown, we need some red, we need some light grey, and we also need some brown and red Manna Petals. So Manna Petals are crafted like we just did with our mana pool by throwing a petal inside our mana pool, or our diluted mana pool, whichever way you're looking at it, I guess. But I don't think you can use a diluted mana pools for stuff like that. Maybe you can, I don't know, we'll have to try that. But I know the diluted mana pools are limited on what they can actually craft with. You need to kind of upgrade to a regular mana pool as fast as possible. But this might be able to show off the day blooms a little bit better, because these day blooms now are fairly useless when it comes to the night time. So that's why you're going to want to be upgrading your flowers as soon as possible, so you can get better generating flora, they'll make mana a lot faster. Because, you know, no one likes being kind of stood around waiting for nothing to do. We want to be making cool things. And to be able to make cool things, we need to make the better flowers. So there is that. But I think we're going to leave it there for today, guys. We've gone through pretty much most of the basics, you know, all the little bits that we need to know to get ourselves started. In the next episode, we'll look at better sources of generating mana, and we'll have a little look at what we can actually do with that mana, because at the minute, we haven't really explored what we can do with the mana. We've made a way of making it, we've made a way of sending it, we've made a way of storing it, and I wonder if one of the mana bursts is enough to make a mana petal. Let's just have a look. Let's grab some black. Actually, no, we don't want black, do we? We want to make brown. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can make a brown before we finish up. But that took a fairly decent amount of time, didn't it, to be able to grab that one mana blast from those two guys. No, we haven't got enough in there. I didn't think we would. And you see, I mean, how some people may think that it's a little bit slow because we spent that long waiting for, well, we haven't even been able to make one mana petal yet. You're going to need a lot of day blooms if you're going to be doing this. So, yeah, I would say it's best holding on to your mana and trying to grab yourself an Endo Flame as soon as possible. But I'll show that off in the next episode for you peeps. Alright, so if you're enjoying the series, make sure to drop a like. And if you're new to the channel, I urge you to subscribe for more awesome content. Have yourself a great day. Have a good one as always. And goodbye.